Esquisse d'un tableau chimerique des progrès de l'esprit humain. Days of big perspective feel like forward motion without aging. Yesterday's scale and scope silenced all the metaphysical growls that exposed the body to extra-gravitational tug. Willed through a wincing night of sleep, the bedsheet formed a protective screen from the cycling collapsed lung of entropic particles. Evil doesn't get up early, so if you beat it to the blocks, you'll be chasing it around all day, rather than the opposite. Dawn patrol. June moon is still on, so heat won't be the enemy for an elbow swing up the boardwalk with trek momentum still burning. Push the remains of the Sutyagan house out of view and tack starboard up the coast. How many muscle beaches are there, for Christ's sake? Take Venice Boulevard to its provenance and cut right at the Merriam-Webster level of analysis mural. Another Roman attention span is hypostasized ostentatiously. Leave it to the Church of the Latter-day Romans to breeze over the Latin mistake of creating a philological irony by teasing pantheon and pantheism out of pantheos, and then advertising that gaffe in the form of a pantheon of pantheism as public iconography. Craft without history is commerce. Maybe gods are just inevitable. If there is a Doge of Venice, then you know who it is. His mural stands tallest on the boardwalk a couple of blocks down. The only muscle beach is right here, he'll have you know. Could there be a more appropriate expression of the bread and circus ethos than a bodybuilder come entertainment actor rising to the gubernatorial level? All of that started right here. And I doubt Abbott would be surprised, if not a touch jealous. Das ist komisch. The toll to get into Santa Monica is a bit much, so the border becomes the turnaround. A nice satin sheen of sweat worked up, grease and glide through the boardwalk, landing back at the compound where a host of guests are gathered around the smoke pit their collective morning puffs are producing. They don't even look up. The hustle shuffle leaves no time for small talk and barely enough for perfunctory eye contact. The zippy understand, the zonky find it offensive. The city of Los Angeles is shaped like an amoebic oil spill. Traveling between shoestring annexations, clumps, drips, and tails, or even worse, from within to without, requires some frustratingly circuitous navigation through transit blind spots. From coastal to coastal, up 60 miles, for example, means reversing eastward into the kernel of the city, and then setting out through the valley blob to go north by northwest. Strap hangers of the L train sympathize. Patching together a route with city buses is possible, but you'll spend more time traffic gazing from a whizzy sidewalk bench than traveling. The pandemic allowed Los Angeles to become a more extreme version of itself. Fiercely cellular, this polity, it's still lamenting the return to status quo ex ante. Wonky public transportation was taken as a colorful municipal eccentricity. LA doesn't have a subway, like where? The blonde American skepticized in a Parisian public policy course, swiveling her head around for peer support. Bus drivers react quizzically when you offer fare. Hobos nod and hooch, clink-clanging their gear wherever they find themselves. One sat in the seat behind drops his glass pipe, and a red light ahead causes it to skid under your seat. Get out of that moral pickle jar. All the same, riding the bus keeps the ethical chisel sharp and clean, for motion is the serum of the spirit. Without great imaginative effort, one can picture Culver Station withering into Brooklyn's Broadway Junction in modern speed soon time. Only 7 years old, this place more resembles a dusty aviary, pigeons tumbling in and out, the steps up to the platform slippery with human soot, and with the flat sprawl of the region allowing more direct broadcast sunlighting, the juxtaposition is felt more keenly still. Smoking and yelling, bland apathy and no law enforcement, the historical experience of a metro system only used by the poor and the intrepid. Randy Newman never took the metro. Into 7th and Figueroa Station and quickly remark on the plastic surgery the block has undergone since the last visit. 30 minutes to drop off luggage and get into the middle of Union Station. A downtown with King Kong blocks always feels so Americanly southwestern. Platform for the Red Line has a platoon of deputies patrolling. Word is the Expo line needs some eye, too. They always smirk at suggestions that they absorb later and ultimately implement. Experience gets one past the momentary ego sting of this. Never early, but always just before, just in time, takes delicate execution and a bit of courage.